Inspired by Erica. Hope you're fine. So today I want to talk about meaningful friendships. Friendships are important.
Viewer of the State of Affairs, I want to welcome you to this very important edition. This is U24 Television, and tonight we have a very special edition, and we're going to reach to you from the broadcast house, Nile Avenue, at UBC headquarters. Ampaire Amon Ortega is my name, and I have a very big privilege and honor to have a very special guest in our studios. Ojabile Augustine happens to come from Forum for Democratic Change, you call it FDC, and happens to be their secretary from the Electoral Commission. And we're going to be talking so much to do with the politics and how things have been taking place in different places of our country, but also we're going to be zooming in and we see some of the things that shape our politics as a country. You're most welcome, Ojabile Augustine.
Thank you, Amon, once again. UBC Radio U24. It is a great pleasure that I'm here with you today. It's actually my first time to settle in at U24. I hope it will be interesting, informative, and educative.
Indeed. That has always been our number one mission, to make sure that the people of Uganda are inspired, are educated, but also are informed. Welcome, Augustine, and this is U24, where we make sure that people, especially the youth, are inspired. A lot is happening in our country. We have just concluded the youth elections, and they turned out to be some, especially Honorable Diana went to court and later on court had to dismiss and also dismiss the case on grounds that some of the ballot boxes were tampered with and the seals were tampered with. But we're also going to be zooming in and see and understand the state of affairs in the politics of our country, where we see many MPs who have gone to court, and even we had a presidential candidate, Honorable Robert Kasavante, who took the Electoral Commission and the government to court, and also later on we saw him trying to withdraw the case. But also have seen most political parties being formed. We have young political parties, and what do they mean, the politics of this country. We're also going to zoom in and look into the just elected government. We have a new government, though not yet in power, because we still have the old government. We expect the new government to be in power by, I think, May, when they're going to be swearing in.
15th May.
All right. Yeah. So we're going to look into all that. But we have also seen, in just concluded weeks, we have seen some of the significant political figures crossing from their original political parties to other parties. We're going to come into that. You're most welcome, Augustine, and let's start from the FDC. How is FDC? Welcome from the campaigns. How did the campaigns take you? And let's look into what has been making you busy also this week.
Our dear viewers, once again, my name is Augustine Ojobile. This is my first show with U24. I'm meant to understand it is mostly youth. So I will try to speak to the youth.
Indeed.
As much as possible. Or even if it is so big, I want to break it down for the young people to understand and know what we are actually talking about.
True.
You understand that our conceptualization levels are now down, especially with the kind of generation we have today. That when you're speaking about serious issues, you must find a way of breaking it to make sure that that's why today you can talk about the president of NUP because he has mastered the art of communicating to the young people, even if he is communicating something that is casual, which may not even be impactful in the general politic of the country. You will find it
but
in the
unless
public.
he has mastered the kind of
yes,
the language they
the language.
understand
So
most.
you you will find that communication in the public domain as if it is something so serious. That is what we would want to see, that when we are communicating serious issues, break it down to the people so that they understand it. So FDC started the campaign at a high tone where the president, the flag bearer, Nathan Nandala Mafabi, he came up with the manifesto of the party. The manifesto is a booklet which has ideas that are going to be used by that particular government in case they win. So FDC came up with a booklet in the names of a manifesto, and that document had various issues that were touching both the youth, and not only both, but the youth, the elderly, the women, sports, and agriculture, employment, and all those other spheres, which were very important to the growth and development of Uganda in general. So FDC made it simpler by even making the slogan as easy as possible, that fixing the economy, money in our pockets. So
how is that different from the NRM? Is there, could one have copied from the other, or you are sharing the same ideas by coincidence?
You see, we are living in the same environment. So I want to assume many leaders look at the country and they know what the country actually needs.
All right.
So where you see similarity means that many people are thinking alike. It is only the implementation which goes the other side. For example, looking at FDC, who launched their manifesto about, I think it was July. That's when it was ready, actually. By July, the manifesto of FDC was ready, and it was at the printing stage. And the National Council was invited to launch it, and that was in the month of September. So, however, you will see that NRM released their document that was towards the nomination of the president. So you mean, when you talk of copying, maybe it is possible that NRM had to copy what FDC had brought up, just for purposes of making sure that since they are talking about the economy and the people are too broke and people are poor, they don't have money in their pockets, we should actually remind people that we have brought a myoga, we have brought Bonaba Gagawale, so protect whatever you have achieved from those things. Right? So it is possible that this is what NRM decided to do.
All right.
So FDC made that manifesto, and it said every university child or university graduate, you have an opportunity of earning 1 million, which is not a loan. You take it, it's a grant. And the purpose of that grant was to make sure that a university graduate leaves the university with some small capital, which would enable him or her start some personal business. And then after that, we go to stage 2, where we were going to look at the taxation policy. Well, like, why should people be paying dollars in Kampala here and other areas, neighboring towns, yet there is nobody paid salaries in dollars in Uganda. So people are paying rent in dollars. So some of these things are the issues FDC wanted to look at. Unfortunately, you people did not give us the vote.
Interestingly, good you participated, and I want to believe that you enjoyed the campaigns. You went out to different places in the country, and you were able to communicate that very message. But looking at political participation in general, and FDC as one of the major stakeholders in the country, looking at political participation, has political participation, in your view, increased or decreased? And when we talk about that, we look at the recent elections and after the post-elections.
Basically, our people need to understand the value of political parties. We may not have achieved much, but we are work in progress. And it is very important that even the democracy we are cherishing today in the developed states, they had to start at one point. And that is what Uganda has done. So I will never at one point support an idea which talks of banning political parties or bringing in strict laws to disempower political parties from the normal operationalization of their work. So to me, I think it's work in progress. However, when you look at how political parties operate in the country, we still have a long journey in making sure that these political parties actually work in the real sense of how a political party must operate. For example, many of these political parties have turned up to be briefcase political parties. That there is no clear structure of their leadership and how that leadership...
No offices, no branches, no structures.
No structures.
I've heard also of the political party that is very significant but has no constitution. And one wonders what guides them.
Those are part of the challenges we are facing. You see, you imagine Abedi Wanika has a political party called PDP, People's Progress, PDP. People's Abedi Wanika, it is PDP. Yes, PDP, People's Development Party. So when you look at Abedi Wanika, I think you have never known his vice, not even a secretary general of his political party. Maybe you even don't know his office, but you're a journalist. Maybe I wouldn't know because I am maybe opposing him and maybe I am competing with him. Maybe I may not be willing to understand where his office is in case he does not publish.
No, that is your opponent. You should be knowing.
No, even if he's my opponent, I can decide not only to meet with him on the streets.
Yes, sure.
But at least he should have invited the media at his political party. Then there's
and that is one of the many.
Yes, one of the many. Yes. Today, as we are speaking, NUP does not have a clear structure of leadership.
But they do.
They don't have a clear structure apart from the top. Okay. Apart from the top. A political party, if you are meant to nurture people to become better leaders, you cease from existing or participating in politics as an individual. What happens today is that you will see if Robert Kyagulanyi hates you, you cannot have the flag. That is not how a political party operates. You give people an opportunity to participate in their elections with a clear structure or program that is released. Today, if we are blaming Electoral Commission for changing the roadmap the way it wishes. Today it says now the PWDs are going in for the elections. Then it says we have stopped them. They are going for those elections next week. And you just follow. Now ask yourself, as you're blaming the National Electoral Commission, what have I done in my political party? So this is where we have a challenge.
But is it intentional for the Electoral Commission to keep changing the goalposts? Because I remember there's a time, I think last year, when they had to postpone the
nominations
date for the nominations for the
nominations, president, MPs shifted like
and I
thrice.
remember they gave a valid reason. One was that the country was hosting the ministerial summit for the non-allied movement, which was happening in that very week. So they had to postpone to 2 weeks or 1 week later.
So what?
And that was a valid
so
reason.
What reasons did they give for the postponement of elections? Actually, about thrice special interest groups.
That would be
so you just know that when we are in politics, the Electoral Commission has a role to play, and it can decide to play it either positively or negatively.
True that.
So this time around, you need to ask yourself, why did they have to postpone at that particular time? Because just to know that our campaign period was cut short. When where we were supposed to go out for more than 90 days, it was reduced to 90 days, because 90 days is the minimum. It's not a must that you must go 90 days maximum. No, minimum 90 days. So it means we can campaign even for a whole year, as long as Electoral Commission...
Do you see those barriers as a limitation to citizens to fully participate in these electoral processes?
Really, it is part of it, because when nominations keep shifting, then election days shift as well. Like I can talk of special interest groups. At first, there was a roadmap that came out. On the first roadmap, special interest groups, that is MPs for workers, PWDs,
the youth,
the youth,
women.
Their election was supposed to be in February. Okay? They were supposed to be in February. Then, all of a sudden, it shifted to 29th. From nowhere, the workers' councillors shifted from February, it came to 21st January. So yet it had come from February to 29th, then it came to 21st.
Maybe for better preparations.
So you just, it is not better. Actually, the days for campaigns kept on reducing. So you imagine if at all you had prepared yourself to seek for maybe some leave, because they are private workers. So now I will tell my boss, maybe from 30th January, I'm not going to be at the workplace, because you're preparing for an election which is going to take place on the 5th. For special interest groups, you have specific individuals you reach out to. You don't need actually to campaign, making rallies and all that. No, for special interest groups like the workers, you only go to those unions, the delegates. You know how many unions are there? There are 10. So you only look for 10 times 20. That's 100. 10, that's 200.
200.
So you know I have 200 voters, and the 200 voters are coming from this specific group. So you go looking for those people. So you look for 200 people. So you can look for them in 5 days. So you budget accordingly. Now you are there on 15th, they tell you, we have changed, the elections are on 21st. You know how that affects you psychologically, maybe even financially. You have not prepared, you had maybe even applied for a loan. It might be ready on 25th. Now, the youth, just imagine the mess the youth are going through. Some of the challenges are these, caused by EC. They are ill-prepared, so you also go and attend to ill-prepared candidates. So whoever is there is fighting so hard to make sure they win. So if they don't find avenues of winning, they find avenues of disorganizing the process.
Okay. Let's shift our gears to the post-elections. Immediately after the polls, we have seen people flopping the courts of laws. Even we had a presidential candidate, Honorable Robert Kasavanti, and later on he said that I'm withdrawing the case for reasons best known to him. What do you read in this? What do you translate all these cases that have gone to court, and also court sometimes dismissing some of these cases, and also sometimes courts deciding from those who had earlier on won, like in Masaka we had the Honorable Namere winning after the court, and so many others. What do you read in all these cases? Democracy in practice?
We shall live to remember the 2026 election. It was one of the most ill-organized.
Ill, you say?
Ill-organized, ill-prepared. The leadership of Justice Byabakama needs to be investigated. It may not be Byabakama as an individual, but we need thorough investigations into the Electoral Commission. There must be a serious weevil within the Commission which has made the Commission look ugly. Just imagine.
Why?
Just
If I'm
imagine.
to ask.
Just imagine how the petitions were handled. Petitions were handled in a way which did not really accommodate justice.
But also some people say that most of the cases and those who petitioned, they lacked basics. Most of the cases lacked water, and that's why most of the cases have been dismissed.
I can give you an example. 2 cases.
That means the Electoral Commission did their best, because by the time someone takes you to court and in the morning they withdraw the case, or the case is dismissed by court, it means you do not have even enough evidence or ground.
I will give you 2 or more cases. And the first case will be for councillors. Then the second case will be for members of parliament. The first case of councillors, we had a case in Butambala of a workers' councillor to the district, where the NRM flag bearer petitioned that the candidate of Forum for Democratic Change did not have any unions attached to his nomination credentials. 2, he did not, the issue was on unions, and his supporters were not part of any union, nor were they part of the 10 non-unionized members of the district. Now, that is the Electoral College, meaning that you must get nominated from those very people. Now we go to Terego, where that's my district. A petition also came. Now from an FDC petitioning the NRM. And the issue was that this NRM was nominated without fulfilling the credentials. 1, he was not a member of any union. 2, his supporters, proposers, and seconders were not in any union. So both petitions.
How was he nominated?
Yes, obviously. There is an illegal nomination and you can get denominated. So the 2 petitions were similar, and all of them had evidence on table and said he was nominated. But when you look at the list of unions, he was not there. There is a law which governs registration of unions, that if a union is registered 6 months prior to elections, it is the only union recognized. So anything after the 6 months, so for this case, elections were on 15th of January. It means any union which was registered after 15th of July was an invalid union. Okay? So,
according to the law.
According to the law. So what went on is that Electoral Commission went ahead and denominated the one of Butambala, who is FDC, and now maintained the one of Terego, who is NRM. Yet the cases were the same, and both had evidences. So this is where I tell you that there was a clear syndicate and disorganization, dishonesty in the Electoral Commission way of doing things. Coming to the level of Member of Parliament, in Bukedia, you know very well that there was even a situation where people's names were removed from the register.
By who?
The Electoral Commission attempted to remove the names of certain
and which
persons. I'm coming. That there was a petition against Norma Susan Otai and a lady called, is it Mariam from NUP? Susan is from FDC. And the petition was by the Speaker of Parliament, that is Honorable Anita Among, petitioning that these people were not residents. These people were not, did not have their burial grounds there. So they should be removed from the, from the register. And you know what happened? EC went ahead and did that, removing their names from the register on vague grounds, even without carrying out clear investigations. Yet, both these people had their parents live there or born there. So the question was, do you want these people to bring the graveyards of their past ancestors to your office so that you believe that even if they brought their parents and say, I am here, you go on the ground and find out whether I am actually not a resident of that village? Because...
But how do you come in as political parties? Because, as you say, this was a candidate from FDC, and FDC is bigger than an individual. You would expect a political party to step in and defend their candidate. But when serious issues like that you are saying, whether true or false, you see that sometimes the political parties step back and they don't help their candidates. And one wonders how, what is the importance of having political parties? The
political parties, that's why I can tell you the story from A to Z. Because we were following step by step.
As a political party.
And we even reached a level of going to court after the ruling was made by EC, an illegal ruling to declare these people not residents. So we went to court with our documents, and I can tell you the same syndicate was played in court during that period when internet was off. That's when court sent you know, these days they have the e-messaging on how to, when you will appear to court, in court. So they made that, produced it, and we went for hearing in absentia. Now, we only came to know about it after. We only came
but
to...
at least you were informed.
We were not. You know, when internet is off like now,
you are
not notified. So they used the internet system. There's a way they call it legally, but it is these days you are invited in court through an e-system, and at that point the e-system was down.
Because of internet.
Because of internet, which was switched off by government. And it is the same arm of government using the same system to invite an individual they know very well. They don't have that that access to the super internet, because the media and all those other teams had some ways of interfering with the networks and access the internet, which us, the ordinary people, were not able. So that is how the political atmosphere looked like, and obviously our people did not.
Do you see these petitions as a means of the raising of political awareness by political parties, by political players, by candidates, or it is the malpractice by the Electoral Commission?
I didn't get your question clearly.
The raising, the many cases that we see in court, do you see it as more of the side of Electoral Commission malpractice in this case, or because people are empowered, Ugandans know their rights, they are politically aware, and they can know that there is a room they can run to, especially when they are dissatisfied by with the process?
Actually, you need to understand that many of the people going to court are going there because Electoral Commission, in one way or the other, did not do its work diligently.
But it can also mean that people are politically aware of their rights.
Yes, people are aware. That cannot be denied.
Or the working of the system.
You see, for them,
they are trusting also the
systems. For them, it's a try and error. It's a try and error at play. Ugandans, if our education levels have, not literacy levels have improved, naturally, people's levels of awareness will have to grow. So if we say the number of people now making it to the university, those days we used to have one university, meaning that we would have about, in the entire country, we would have about 1,000 people graduating annually. Now we have over 80,000 people graduating. Is it 800,000 people? I'm not getting the math very well. But if you added up all the institutions in the country, I think we might have about 800 people graduating 800,000 Ugandans graduating every year. Now, where we put these people, it's another question. But the moment they go into politics, into fighting for political offices, they are able to understand that if I lose in a fair way, I don't see any reason to go to court. If I lose unfairly, I have to go to court, especially the young people. The young people still have the energy, still have the zeal. They feel they should try it out. If for you went to court in 2000 and you won, why do you think for me in 2026 I can't make it? Yet some people, if they lost, going to court would be like, I don't need. A person like today, if you told the former MP of Chadondo East, that is the one replaced by Bobby Wine, that is I'm also forgetting his name. He was an FDC. But I think today if you told him that to go to court, he will tell you hate him.
Why? Because he doesn't trust the court systems?
Because what he went through while he was there is hell. Because he was mistreated in court. That's what the right word I can use. He was mistreated.
But Ojabili also have a serious issue. When especially from the opposition, when the courts rule in your favor, then the systems are good and the government is good and the courts are working. But if it so happens that the courts rule not in your favor, or the candidates from NRM and then you say how broken the system is, and one wonders if you really trust the system only when it favors your side.
You see, the problem with the current status is that it's not about trusting or not trusting the system. It's looking at how they have been working. You see, we now have a history of us going to court and you are ill-treated by the legal officers or personnel. So you can't tell me that you are going to go back there trusting them. Sometimes
Treating you how?
Sometimes, you see, we have been once in court and you're asked to pay 3 million for bail. On the same offense, some other person is moving out free of charge. Say, but now 3 million, why on me? Just because you are a politician and they think if they don't slap you with such a charge, you will not stop disturbing them. That is wrong. That is political malice, using the judicial officers. Secondly, in courts, we have been kept incommunicado for several days. Making sure that we reach court has never been even has never been a serious issue in the courts of law to come up and discuss this issue, that please, can we have this stop? Because one of the reasons as to why Mr. Museveni went to the bush, he said there were extrajudicial arrests, that you have no offense, but you are arrested and just kept there in prison without even appearing in court. And today it is happening. I am a living example. In 2021, I was kidnapped from my house. From there, I spent a whole week. Nobody knew where I was, but I was somewhere being tortured. And immediately after I came out, I only appeared at law society, at that law court, at law society. So, and I was driven to Chitalia.
Law society, or you
the court,
in court?
The court at law society.
Okay.
So I spent in prisons 2 months while my knees were healing, because I was injured on the knees. By God's grace, I am not moving on a wheelchair, but I should have by today. So, and you would see a magistrate was not bothered about the torture I went through, but was bothered about making sure that I am in prison. So this is where you end up.
Based on the evidence that
there was no evidence.
Had been produced
I won
court.
the case. I won the case because the 2 months I would only come for mention, until I decided to demonstrate in prison. I told them, please, no, even if it means transferring me, I don't even want to be in Chitalia. Because in Chitalia, even a visitor to come, it is very hard. They can't visit you. You can't make a phone call. It's so ridiculous. That prison, I don't even understand the system it operates on. So whoever brought that prison called Chitalia, I think it was brought to punish offenders for the second time. So you are you go through pain.
There's a prison in prison.
A prison within a prison. You have a long wall. You can't even see the sky. You are just there. It's it's a very bad prison. This I want to tell you, the people listening or watching. It's a very bad prison. You need to understand these things. It has no water supply. It has.
How do you survive without water?
The water which I'm talking of is so minimum that if you are about 100 inmates, they are bringing you about 500 liters for 100 inmates to wash, to bathe, and clean your utensils. So you use 500 liters for 100 inmates. It's so ridiculous. You can't wash on the same. You have to bathe on the same. You have to wash your utensils. You have to use the same for the loose. So you imagine how that can really sustain life. So it is ridiculous. You only wake up to think about your troubles. You have nothing else. A prisoner, because of the status in which we are always taken there, you are not only meant to be thinking about your problems. There must be a way of rehabilitating you. So you should go to prison to be rehabilitated. But you are put in the same prison because you're a political offender. You are put in the same cell with someone who stole a duck. Now you imagine what kind of someone who has come because of stealing chicken is put in the same cells with someone who is stealing a vehicle from the borders. So how do you really rehabilitate the two?
Okay.
So this is how we end up really looking at the judiciary as a wrong element in our affairs. The other time, in 2016, FDC, we have always made this statement. We won that election, okay? Even when we were not declared, we said, okay, we shall just gather around and pray to God to make sure that we thank Him for the gift of life and the opportunity that we are continuing to survive, even after our election has been rigged. Chief Justice, I remember it was this other, that was the former Chief Justice.
Justice Katurebe?
Not Katurebe. After Katurebe, there was a Muganda man who was who came after Justice Katurebe. That man, that justice banned prayers. Just imagine writing a letter to say prayers. Prayers are not allowed.
But I remember in the City 2021, when we had COVID, I think it was part of a way how we were managing
No,
COVID.
those prayers were banned in 2016. I'm forgetting. 2016.
Not 2021.
No. Prayers were banned by a Chief Justice. And he said, we shall not allow. There was a court order released. And I imagined, I was like, oh, so this is how our judicial officers are going to operate. So we go there, not really that we trust them, but we say, okay, what will the generation ask? Because in future, let me tell you this, when eventually Mr. Museveni's regime goes, we are going to do a review of all the petitions that were put in court. Okay. And the Ugandan government might find itself in a way that it might even find itself having to pay those people who were maliciously denied the opportunity to be MPs, councillors in one way or the other. Interesting.
If we can also a little bit tackle a very serious issue now that is happening in different political parties. Some members running from their original political parties joining others. The recent one, we have your member crossing from Forum for Democratic Change Council in Nsibambi, and who has joined the National Resistance Movement, and so many others still crossing, and while others are still in the corporation. We last term had Democratic Party under Honorable Norbert Mao have a cooperation with the National Resistance Movement, and he said, and most people quoted as if the NRM had taken over DP, where the president said that no, there are so many ways how political parties can relate. It can be cooperation, alliance, or even merger, and they had not done all the others, but only had a cooperation between DP and NRM. But apart from that, people crossing to the ruling government, to the ruling National Resistance Movement. The recent one is coming from your home, FDC. And all the others actually who have come and crossed to the NRM are coming from FDC. We have serious leaders and great leaders now, the two speakers, and so many others to mention but a few.
You see...
Is FDC vanishing?
No, it can't. I'm there.
But others are running away.
You see, there are two theories. One person can decide to cross to a political party for either purposes of attaining property. Now, that is the first theory, that I need a house, a good house, I need a good job, I need a vehicle, I need to live in that luxurious life. I have seen people moving around in posh cars, okay? So, such a moment is always it's like an incentive, a driver to someone. So why would I live where I am and go to another?
Do you see this as...
that is one theory.
You bring in a theory, and I also remember one that I started from economics back then when I was still in school. There are push and pull factors. Are they pushed to go into these political parties, or they are pulled?
Both operate. When you look at this theory,
the way people are running away from FDC, as if there is a push factor more than a pull factor from the NRM.
No, allow me bring this theory.
Please.
This theory, it is property. It is property insinuated that psychologically or ideologically, you feel that actually I am going to lose if I don't. Because they will come and talk to you and say, now, Amon, you manage these shows very well, but the problem is you are the other side. If you were this side, we would actually make sure that you are one of the best program moderators. Yeah? How we would buy you a car, you move in a car, okay? We find you a house, we even make sure that you are promoted to the manager. Those are pull factors, okay, now. You are the manager of the station, because your ideas actually fit into our... So that is the property. You now begin, when you go home, you look at your kid, they sent your kid home for school fees. Say, these people said they would give me... You look at your rent, you look at a leaking roof, you say, these people even said they would give me a house fully furnished. Then you look at how you walk when it is raining. You have to look for a kavera, cover yourself. Not even, you can't afford an umbrella because the workstations we are in actually may not be able to give you affordable income to enable you get many of these basics. So when you look at this, it rings in your mind. You are even there in your room, in the bed, sleeping with your wife.
But the kind of people that we're talking about, looking at Honorable Nsibambi, looking at the speakers,
the problem, you people look at Honorable, you people look at those people alone, but you don't know that many cross apart from them. Even
we have seen those who are crossing, those very people who are established members in our communities.
Even those very people you are talking of, I can tell you that even the Nsibambis, even the Anitas, they had in one or the other a push and pull of the property. I will break it down for you, but this is done. Now the second theory is the ideological nature, that you find yourself in a situation that you are too wise. At one point you are like, but how do we manage this? When you are sitting down to discuss certain issues of how to, these people actually are always hard to be influenced, to be taken to a government that they have been abusing for a long time. Because ideologically, they are oriented. Ideologically, they are upright. So
do you credit the government
they have
for creating space to work with the opposition? Because the working government is the one that would mind about those brains that we can push Uganda to the next level, regardless of our political affiliations, regardless of what we believe in. as long as we are all working and developing Uganda together?
You see, at this point, we may not even discuss whether these people are being used to develop or not. I'm going to talk about it just in this sentence. You see, the ideological part, majority of the Ugandans are ideologically disoriented. So they fall in the other side of the property. That when you influence or talk to them about the issue of crossing to the regime, the first thing they think about is what they are going to benefit from that situation. So immediately it rings a bell in their minds, and they say, oh, I think the best I can do, go the other side, do this.
Are they running to the government for gains, or they have gains to protect?
This is, you just asked it when I'm beginning now to explain this. That today when you look at the kind of people who have crossed, we can begin from far back. A person like Betty Kamya, who crossed first. Betty Kamya had issues, but
with who?
Had issues with how she wanted to become a leader in the party, among the topmost positions at a time when our chairman Chigundu had passed on. So for her, she wanted automatically to take over the position, and we have a structure which takes decisions of such nature.
And she was not part of the structure.
And she denied, she refused to go through that process. She was like, no, I need just to be, because I was the vice. It's not automatic. The president can even decide to appoint any other person because he has the prerogative of power. He has the powers to appoint anybody other than you. So she left. When she left, she found life very hard because, first of all, she created what we call Federal Alliance, and that political party up to today, it has the chairperson who is the same as the youth and the secretary general. So for her, after leaving, she left the party, joined the NRM. When she joined the NRM...
And has become the IGG? She
became IGG, but I can tell you, it is because of what she went through before when she was in NRM, because she almost lost her family, the Turuomo family, okay? So the husband and all what went what she went through, it is a story of another day. So just to know that some of these people are there because there are things that they go through behind the scene.
Okay.
When we come to this, the person called the speaker, obviously the speaker, I have heard even Sivambi praising her, saying, this lady, when she left FDC collapsed. FDC died. So the question is, Sivambi won an election in 2020.
What is the right word to use, collapse or died?
I don't know, because because
in your view,
because it has never died, because Sivambi
and has never collapsed,
and it has never collapsed. Sivambi participated in the 2020 elections.
Time is not on our side, Jabili. Maybe we shall have your parting shots and your views on our political participation in this country and the growing wave of election petition for what should be our take home as we end.
Okay, when we look at the petitions that are ongoing, I'm sorry I did not go deeper into concluding that part. The serious issue we must be looking at in these petitions is whether the elections in these areas were free, fair, and verifiable. Because when you look at what happened in Masaka, it's shameful. It's shameful. In Masaka, you are allowed to count when some ballot boxes are open before a recount. But for the youth, it is not allowed. because some boxes are open. So you see how the judiciary contradicts.
They allowed, but later on the court dismissed
so,
the case.
So no, which case are you talking
For the
of?
youth.
Okay, I thought you were talking of the one of Masaka. So when you see it allowed, but then it went and dismissed because boxes were open.
Yeah.
So this is the same in Masaka.
Sales were tampered.
They are allowed, and then there was also tampering with the boxes. The magistrate was alerted and said, "Okay, let me give you the ruling. Recounting will go on." So, so the judiciary is mixed up. As Ugandans, we are not supposed to trust the judiciary, parliament, or the executive. These people are supposed to do their work.
Okay.
You do your work. I am only supposed to come for services. I don't need to come expecting that you are going to be doing it on my terms. Do your work dependent on the documentations that you are accredited as a lawyer.
Okay. Thank you so very much, and that brings us to the end of our conversation here at U24 television, and that bit particular the state of affairs. It was a privilege having you, Jubilee Augustine, who comes from Forum for Democratic Change and heads their Electoral Commission. I want to believe that you have learned or picked a leaf from our conversation. These conversations still go on our different platforms, YouTube, TikTok, and also X, which many of you still call Twitter. Until next time, same station, same program. From me and the team, Tyson and the camera, and Mosh, our producer, and Ivan, and our manager, and so many others for making time to listen in. Seconds.
I want to congratulate our people who are in the Lent season. You see, it has, since I was born, this is the first time the Muslim and the Christians are starting their Lent on the same day. This time around, there will be no Christian disturbing a Muslim on Eid day. And so,
are they the same days?
Because the same day.
Okay.
We started yesterday. The Muslims started yesterday, but their Eid will be a few days before ours.
Okay.
So
you're likely to disturb them first.
Maybe they will disturb us, because for us we shall be fasting.
Okay.
So we want to thank everyone for participating in the Lent season. Be good, be nice, young man, young lady. Be good to your parents. At least this should be the time for you to show your parents that God has actually intervened in your life. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, our producer, and our moderator.
Interesting. And we pray and we continue to wish you all the best during this fasting season. Be inspired and keep it U24 television, UBC radios and televisions. Until next time, same station, same program. I remain Ampere Amon Otega. For God and my country, allow me to sign out. It's a good night.